Hello and welcome back to the Good 5-Cent Cigar Newscast. My name's Alexa Potamianos. Thank you so much for joining us. Coming up, a candlelit community gathering for Syrian and Turkish earthquake victims, a look into your week as URI, and as always, stay tuned for your Rhody Sports Corner. On Wednesday, February 15th at 5 p.m., there was a candlelit community gathering held with support from the Multicultural Student Services Center, Middle Eastern Student Association, Muslim Student Association, International Center, Hillel Center, and the Chaplain Association to recognize and pray for the over 30,000 victims who lost their lives in the earthquake tragedy in Turkey and Syria.
When I was little, I grew up speaking to my family in Syria on Skype video calls and seeing the joy and happiness in their hearts. I always dreamed about visiting Syria and being able to see where my roots came from. I always dreamed about enjoying the delicious food, beautiful art, traditional clothing, heart-touching music, creative dancing, and relationships that last a lifetime. I always dreamed about celebrating life with my family that I had never met before and being surrounded by nothing but love. Once the Civil War in 2011 had begun, those dreams slowly turned into helpless imaginations. My family turned into refugees who were separated and displaced across the world, while some of my extended family members still reside in Damashq, Zabadani, Uladiya. However, some families were not that lucky. Some families never got the chance to say goodbye to each other. Children who had dreams in the Middle East are forced to provide for their families. Children who had dreams in the Middle East are forced to raise themselves without their mother or father. Children who had dreams in the Middle East are forced to figure out where their next meal is coming from and where they will be sleeping at night. Last week, an earthquake of 7.8 magnitude hit Turkey and Syria that also affected at least 7 other countries: Palestine, Lebanon, Jordan, Iraq, Georgia, Cyprus, and Armenia. Over 40,000 individuals have lost their lives so far, including newborns who never had a chance to dream. Families are still stuck under the rubble as we speak. Placed sanctions are preventing Syrians from receiving long-term international aid. People are being forgotten about and not cared for. Everyone is used to seeing Syria and other Middle Eastern countries on the news, but they are forgetting that these people are human too. I stand before you tonight with the privilege of not having to worry about whether or not I will be waking up the next morning. I stand before you tonight with the privilege of wearing warm clothing, having full meals to eat, and a roof over my head to sleep at night. I stand before you tonight with the privilege of not having lost my family members due to the countless tragedies that continuously occur every day overseas. I stand before you tonight with the privilege of challenging you all to also recognize your privilege and do what you can to educate over the world. Everyone deserves to be happy. Everyone deserves to be healthy. Everyone deserves to be safe. I hope these words resonate with you as you leave here tonight and you remain curious to search for ways to help those in need. We have passed out flyers that include trusted donation organizations you may contribute to if you are able to. Please join me in taking a moment of silence to recognize and pray for the families who are no longer with us and for the countries and hearts that are shattered.
Here's a look into your week at URI. On Tuesday, February 14th, the library hosted a blind date with a book to help students find their match in a less traditional manner. Also on Tuesday, there was a poetry night featuring Tetu Heron as part of the African Caribbean Intersectional Engagement Event Series. Peace Award nominations are open. The URI Center for Nonviolence and Peace Study encourages that students, staff, and faculty submit nominations for current individuals who contributed to nonviolence, peace, or human rights through their research, teaching, or outreach. And now over to Nathan Robillard with your Rhody Sports Corner.
Thanks, Alexa. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Rhody Sports Corner. I'm Nathan Robillard. Women's basketball picked up more national recognition this week following wins against George Washington and VCU that brought their winning streak to 12. For more on the win against George Washington, here's Peter Gigliotti.
URI women's basketball returned to the Ryan Center Wednesday night as the team welcomed the red-hot Washington Colonials, who were fresh off a 6-game win streak until they were stopped by Tammy Reese and the Rams. Leading the way for URI was junior forward Maya Torre. Torre was able to grab the lead early for the Rams, as she had 9 points in the first quarter of the game. Torre would continue to shine as she ended the game with a double-double, scoring 26 points and 14 rebounds.
But, it's a testament, again, I say this all the time, to Maya's work ethic. She physically, she puts the work in. Mentally, she made the decision this summer, I want to be the one. It's different being the one. I want the ball. Maya wants the ball. If she could, she'd shoot up all the balls. Sometimes we have to tell Maya to pass, but that mentality has lent her to this stat line.
As the first half was winding down, freshman guard Inez DeBraz hit an almost full-court buzzer beater to end the half, bringing the score to 38-20 in favor of URI. URI's dominant performance was also marked by a piece of history, as Madison Haddix Covington reached 1,000 career points in the third quarter. The VCU transfer has scored 259 points in her time with the Rams.
It's a great feeling, coming into college. I think most people, they want to join the 1K club, and so it just felt nice. The crowd. I love the crowd here at the Ryan Center, and it just felt really good, to get the acknowledgement and everything.
Really, again, just really excited for Maddie, and we told her in the locker room, we're so blessed and happy she's here, and I'm happy she did this as a part of our family, and we get to celebrate it with her now. It's the reason we brought her in here, was to be a scorer and not be a last option in an offense, and she's been huge for us this year, absolutely huge. And so just really, really proud of her.
This game, being Tammy Reese's 100th game as head coach for the Rams, would result in a 64-47 win, and would earn the team NCAA Women's College Basketball Team of the Week and ESPNW's Coach of the Week for Tammy Reese. The Rams hope to continue their 11-game win streak as they travel to Richmond, Virginia next week to face off against 7-15 VCU. From inside the Ryan Center, I'm Peter Gigliotti with the Rhody Sports Corner.
Taking a look at some other scores around campus, men's basketball's road struggles continued as they fell to George Mason in their third straight loss before returning home to face VCU on Wednesday. Women's tennis swept Stonehill at the International Tennis Hall of Fame on Saturday. Men's and women's track and field were also in action over the weekend, splitting squads between the Boston University Valentine Invitational and the URI Coaches Invitational in preparation for the Atlantic 10 Championships next week. And finally, it was announced this week that sophomore guard Brayon Freeman will no longer be a part of the URI men's basketball program. A statement from head coach Archie Miller read, Brayon will no longer be a part of this program. We wish him well in the future and will continue to support Brayon's academics, health, and wellness while he is a part of our university. That's all for this week's edition of Rhody Sports Corner. Alexa, back to you.
That's all we have for you this week at the 5 Cent Cigar Newscast. As always, make sure to check us out at rhodycigar.com and follow us on Twitter at Rhody Cigar. From Kingston, Rhode Island, I'm Alexa Potamianos. Have a great week, Rhody.